What's up, YouTube? So, continuing. This is part 2 of work drama, hostile work environment. So, my second battle of the bosses is with Union Gospel Mission. I was with the Boys and Girls Club for 5 years, and I happened to stay at Union Gospel Mission for about 6 years. They were interested in me. The first year I worked the swing shift 2 to 10 and talked to one of my managers at the time, and he eventually quit, but I kept telling him that he needed to put me on night shift, and that was like after a year and a half of working at Union Gospel Mission. So I say for about like 4.5 or 5 years, I worked night shift, and then like near the end of my Union Gospel Mission experience, they prompted me to be shift lead supervisor for the overnight. And at first I didn't want the position because I thought it was too much responsibility, but they said they were going to give me a raise, so I took it. Union Gospel Mission wasn't too bad. It was it was the best job I had. Most money I ever got paid for. I mean, they started me off at $13 an hour. I got a raise, damn near like $1 raise, I guess. And I couldn't tell because I'm on child support. Anyway, getting into this, I get the Union Gospel Mission, residents love me. It was like good cop, bad cop. You had these like asshole managers or facility managers. And then you had me, because I'm just cool with people and I understand the struggle. And I didn't treat them people like trash just because they were homeless. But a lot of them felt like they should have treated these people like trash because they were homeless and poor or whatever. I don't rock that way. I know what it's like to struggle and, have a aching stomach because you're hungry. I'm not saying that I grew up that way. I can just empathize. But anyway, make a long story short, amidst this, after a couple of years in the Union Gospel Mission, is a simp dude. I ain't gonna say no names. I just to tell you that he's light skinned and got freckles and quote Bible verses. Them one of the worst fucking people. Anyway, I think after a year, the clinical director made him the boss because this dude did so much snitching and ass kissing. He was like the Tekashi 6ix9ine of the job. And not to down him, but motherfucker didn't have no education or nothing. He just a good ass kisser. Instead of a brown nose, he was a brown face. Anyway, fuck him. He was a house nigga. That's what I felt about him. Motherfucker was a house nigga. Anything them white people say, he jump, kiss their ass, he do whatever they want him to do. But anyway, he became my supervisor, and then before I even became night supervisor, he had put these like 2 dummies as shift supervisors. They were rotating shifts. So it had one dummy on one rotating shift at night, and then another dummy that was a reverend. Well, he was actually from Oklahoma. I'm not going to say his name, but we called him the Reverend, and the Reverend was like, when we first became a supervisor, I should have been supervisor because just the fact that I was a day shift facility manager, and usually by default, if you worked days and then came to nights over the night crew, you were supposed to be shift lead anyway, but due to favoritism, that didn't happen. So the house nigga, and this is what I'm just gonna call him, And, you know, he puts the Reverend in charge of me and my other crew. And that's when kind of the problem begins. And, you know, as shift supervisor, you're supposed to do email, but this dude is like in his late 50s, and he was kind of a computer illiterate, and he was real slow when it came to typing, and act like he didn't really know how to send any emails. And, you know, keep in mind, this is the Reverend, so the Reverend, he asked me one day to send the email, and the house nigga wanted me to train him for his position. I'm like, well, my thing was, well, why you want me to train him and you put him over me? That's fucking stupid. So anyway, he asked me to email him. I said, no, I'm not emailing anybody. I said, you're the shift lead. That's your job. And so he's like, oh, you want to play hardball, hey? So ever since then, you know, it's been a big shit test. I mean, it got so bad, you know, he was trying to critique my work. He's like, oh, you're slow as molasses. Don't you got a bachelor's degree? You're dumb as a bag of rocks. And, man, anyway, this kept going on. I cussed his ass the fuck out. One day, you know, it's night shift. I dozed off, and a motherfucker came up to me, and I said, hey, you know what? Fuck you. And so, you know, I called my main boss, the house nigga. I said, hey, man, you're going to have to do something with this fool, because if you don't, I quit. And, oh, no. Come in the office and we'll talk. So what ended up happening is he put me on a different night shift. And I kind of got into it with the other clown that he positioned. That's another story. I didn't have too much problems with the other guy, but later on, somehow, you know, the shift changed again after another year, and I'm back on with this asshole Reverend. And so, I don't know, he kept fucking with me about my lunch, talking about, and, you know, he was jealous of the other co-workers that I've made, like, you know, that I was associated with, because I was cooler with them than him. And so what I did was I wrote a hot email and sent it to the administration. And so they demoted him, promoted me to be lead shift supervisor, and that's how that happened. Yeah, I'm not surprised I kept the job after cussing his stupid ass out. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. My point is, if you have a problem at the job with any of these silly ass people, don't cuss them out. Document everything and send it. And if they're over you, send it to the higher ups and let them deal with it. Because now you got it in documentation. Alright, YouTube. This video was way longer than what I expected it to be, but I'm out. Oh, I got a part 3. Deuces.